What is going on, everybody? We are back with another CCW review. I am Nick.
I'm Joe.
And Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. Anyways, uh,
Inside joke.
uh, so Dynamite was tonight, technically last night
Uh,
as of the start of this recording. And
yeah, it was a show that happened in
it,
space and time.
it definitely happened. Okay, here's the thing. I didn't hate the episode, but there was so much
It was weird.
that I didn't like.
It started out pretty good, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, with the matches they got scheduled tonight, this could be a really good one.
They
And then it just,
so they didn't here okay, so we start off with Will Ospreay coming out. He talks up to his trip to New Mexico last year, or to Mexico last year, and how that started with his
New
grandfather passing.
Mexico. He
Yeah.
went to Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. No, it was Mexico. But it started last year, like they landed in Mexico and he got a message and called and found out his grandfather passed away. And his grandfather's like pretty much like that's his hero. Um And he was like, but you know what? I wrestled because that's what he would have wanted me to do. And I loved where he started to take this. I just wish he would have got there a little bit quicker because he kept like beating around the bush
Yeah.
to finally get to the point where he was like, but you know who doesn't show up? Kenny. He's like, what were you doing last week, buddy? Not a fucking thing. So then he calls out Kenny Omega. And instead, much to my dismay, we get Don Callis. And Don Callis comes out and he's like, I'm the reason Kenny went on to win the world title, and I'm the reason he lost it.
Yep. I'm the reason you're here. It's all about Don Callis.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the reason you're here. And he's like, and you think that this road to the world championship's paved in gold. It's not. It's paved in blood. And at that point, he gets jumped by RPG Vice. And at Doyle at first. Eventually, Davis finally bumbles his way out to the ring. I say that jokingly. I love Davis. He's just a big dude.
He was the last to hit the ring, and also he was the only one that didn't get beaten back. So
that's true. That's true. He was smart. He left.
he did. He bailed.
At that point, Kenny's music hits. He comes out with a pipe. He takes everybody out except for Davis, who rolled out on his own because he's like, nope, fuck that guy.
Say nope, no pipe for me.
He runs up and pretends like he's about to smack Will with the pipe, which I kept misspelling for some reason. I keep spelling it Pip.
He hit him with the pip, not the pip.
Pip pip, cheerio. So funny that's on Will. So yeah, he goes to pretend like he's gonna hit Will with the pipe, and then he kneels down. He's like, everything that you said, I love when you talk, Will, because I feel what you say. He's like, but you've gotten sloppy. Don and Mox are gonna be on your ass. I called him Max. And he's like, and
Well, he mentions Max next.
this isn't who I want to fight at Wembley. He helps Will up, and he says, just so you know, I will not help you again. And then Will's like, hey, I appreciate the help, but I definitely didn't ask for it, and I won't need it. Thanks. And they bounced. And honestly, I kind of like this because it kind of gave Kenny his intimidation back that Will had gotten on him the last time they were in the ring a couple weeks ago. So they've now traded off spots, making each other look like complete pussies. And then
I still think they peaked too early with not last week, but the week before segment.
And I'm glad they didn't try to do more.
No, because it would have came across as forced and probably really bad.
Yeah. So this felt like a good conversation. I'm kind of hoping we don't get too much more outside of this. But we'll see.
We've got 18. We've got 18 days, so we've got 2 more Dynamites. So
I would
honestly,
be
if we don't get back to it until the fucking week of, the week of the pay-per-view, I would be perfectly okay with that. Build the rest of the show. We already know this match is happening.
Right. And then we start off with match 1. My new favorite wrestler, Speedball Mike Bailey, versus MJF versus. I'm kidding.
Your
I
Twitter
do.
buddy, Mike Bailey.
I do like Mike, but no, he did
I do
comment.
too.
He did comment on a tweet, and it actually excited me. So far, that is now him and Ace Austin that have responded to me in some way, shape, or form on Twitter, which is exciting because I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I'm a mark. That is what it is.
You had more than them, right?
Not wrestling wise, no. I've had other
Uh,
famous people, yes. Uh, I
I thought
actually.
Taz has commented back too.
Oh yeah, he did. I don't think he commented back. He liked a comment that I made.
Oh, okay.
Um, but no, famous people. Tony Todd, before he passed away, followed me on Twitter, so that was cool. And then
Nice.
uh, King Crooked, who you probably know more by name as Crooked Eye. He followed me on Twitter at one point as well.
I'm old. I don't know who any of those people are.
Tony Todd played Candyman.
Oh, that's all you had to say was
Um,
Candyman. The Candy.
and
Ooh, you know I don't like Candyman.
and he voiced Venom in Spider-Man 2, the video game.
Right.
Um,
Big ass dude with a hook. Not
yeah,
for me,
yeah. And then, so yeah, he followed me. Oh, Pauly Shore followed me.
buddy.
I don't know how much of a flex that is, but it was still pretty cool.
Well, it depends how old you are, I
Do
suppose.
Do you remember my brother's friend that looked just like him, Joe?
I remember Joe.
Looked just like Pauly Shore, dude. It's fucking crazy. Um. Anyways, uh, I say all that to say this. Do you know what Speedball does better than I think anybody else I've seen in wrestling? And I say this because I've never liked anyone else to do this or that has done this.
What's that?
Using karate in wrestling, like as
Karate,
or whatever version of it martial arts he uses specifically.
Taekwondo.
Um, because like we got subjected to mostly Steve Blackman, who was mostly terrible.
Although he was an actual real life tough guy, he would have not been somebody you would want to fuck with.
No, and you're right. I wouldn't. But you know who I also didn't want to watch on TV?
Steve
That
Blackman.
guy. Especially when it
He
was
wasn't
him
that bad.
and Ken Shamrock.
I'm sorry. the, the DX making fun of them were you know exactly where I'm going with it.
That was the one where X-Pac dressed up like Mark Henry.
Yeah, where he did, yeah. Which, yeah. Anywho,
Anyways, listen. I love the Attitude Era for all its pros and cons.
the good dude, Mark Henry has talked about it. Like Mark Henry knew who those people were, knew that they didn't do it, to be racially insensitive, and Sean Waltman's actually a really good dude.
Yeah. No, none of that was ever in question. There's only one person I can specifically remember Mark being mad about as far as something they had said, and they never apologized for it, and they're no longer with us. So it is what it is.
True that.
Casino Gauntlet qualifier, Speedball Mike Bailey, MJF, and Nick Wayne. Who you thought would win won.
Yeah, this match was not good, and it was not the fault of the two participants who actually wrestled most of the match.
Interestingly enough, the match itself wasn't bad.
No, but you think these three people, you're thinking, oh, this should be really good and really entertaining, and it wasn't. And like I said, it was not Nick Wayne, and it was not Speedball's fault.
There were even interactions with MJF which I really enjoyed. But so like MJF starts off jumping out of the ring, getting on commentary to talk shit while the other two start to wrestle each other. And then there were a couple of really cool spots. There was a part where like Speedball goes to do his running spin kick that he always does, and then Nick kicked him right in the fucking face mid spin. And I was like, well, that was really fucking dope. And the more I see Nick wrestle and the less he talks, the more I like him. So like,
Right?
if he keeps this up, I'll be a fan. Nick's for life.
Yeah, this was just it felt mailed in by MJF, and it kind of irked me.
Right. Um, so there was a part where MJF was like trying to teach Nick Wayne things in the ring because he's an up and comer, but then
Do one of your cool moves.
yeah, he ends up doing, I think it's the sliced bread if I remember correctly.
Yep, he
Um,
does.
and MJF goes for the pin and Nick Wayne pulls him off and then they get into it. This comes back.
Oh, MJF slapped the fuck out of him.
Well, this comes back later. He did, but then this comes back later because there's a part where Nick Wayne yells at him and is like, "Thanks for the tip, asshole." And he goes to do a move, but then MJF punched the shit out of him mid move.
Oh yeah, yeah, when he was in because he went to dive on him.
Yeah.
He just laid
Um,
him out.
Speedball hits his double knee off the top on Nick. MJF grabs Speedball, throws him out the ring, puts Nick in the salt of the earth armbar, and Nick taps out. And MJF is now the number 2 in the gauntlet, so the match will start off with him and Andrade, who is
Who'd
out
have
tonight
thunk?
because he's hurt. Or so we
Yeah, he
say.
probably won't be back till the pay-per-view.
Or so they say.
He might be over in Japan wrestling in the G1.
It's possible, but I didn't think he was in the G1. I know Takeshita is. Post match, he gets a mic, and honestly, I didn't even mind what he mostly had to say. He was like, "The champ always wins. He's gonna go and win the contract at the Gauntlet." Uh, at that point, he's like, "No one can stop me." Andrade's music hits. We all knew Andrade wasn't gonna come out. MJF had a hard time faking not trying to smile. Uh,
Yeah, that's hard for the guy who's supposedly an actor.
yeah, as it was happening. But he then starts to laugh, and he's like, "It's too funny." And he's like, "How you know Andrade isn't here? I'll tell you how I know he isn't here because I whooped his ass last week," which I thought was a very, very clever spin on the line. Um, and then he was like, "Kenny's afraid of me, and so is Osprey." And they were like, "And you guys can pray all you want to God, but he ain't listening. Only the devil's talking."
Yeah, Max's lines are always fine, but I don't like this gimmick of I'm the real world champion because it reminds me of CM Punk when they were doing the Collision brand split, and I don't have time for two world champions. I don't. You lost. Everybody saw you lost. Move
Maybe,
on.
maybe during when it ends up being Will versus MJF at some point. Will win and then light his fucking title on a fire in a trash can or something.
He'll just get another one. He'll inevitably be the champion again.
I don't think they'd drag it out that long.
No, I'm just saying Max is always going to bring back that fucking ugly title for whatever reign he gets.
Oh, I know. But I'm just saying in terms of just getting it off of TV.
Oh yeah, I think once he beats him again, it'll go away. But in the meantime, I'm not gonna like it very much.
I really don't want MJF to win the gauntlet because I don't want him to have an immediate title shot.
Well, he's gonna probably be facing him at All Out.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. It's just what I don't want to happen.
Well,
Only because MJF's been so involved with the world title scene. I don't know.
during his run as champion, although it was brief, they made a lot of progress in regards to viewership and stuff. So, I mean, he's a big deal.
Oh, he's a big deal, but he could be a big deal and do other things too.
I agree.
Backstage, Mick Foley's with the Bang Bang Gang. Speaking of one of those moments that really didn't amount to much, uh,
Yeah.
Jay White says that tonight it's only one. It's one-on-one one more time, and he prays that Mox wins tonight. And if they ain't down with that, they got 2 words for you. Um,
Bang bang.
it was overall it was an okay promo. I was heavily distracted. Funny enough, not by Mick being himself. Um, I was distracted by the terrible production for this very specific promo. Uh, which it wasn't even the overall like sound of everything being bad. So there's this thing that people use in production called a de-esser. And what the de-esser does is all of the harsh sounds that typically come out when you're using S's and T's and things like that, it softens it so it doesn't like bite through your fucking eardrums while you're listening. And they must not have been fucking using one because these motherfuckers were using S words a lot. And I was like, dude, why? Who didn't turn on the one thing that was needed to make sure that you didn't, why? Ah, made me so mad. Match two. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just make sure. Match
Yeah,
two.
sorry. I have stuff on the screen in front of me I got distracted by.
Continental Cup first round match. Jay White versus David Finlay. Um, this match I was also distracted. There's this. Okay, listen. There's this very loud section that was somewhere. It was like a group of 8 people that were
It was the
basically
only 8 people that they had mic'd up.
yelling David Finlay for almost the entire match. And look, I'm not trying to yuck someone else's yum because I know how much you like that phrase.
Oh
But
yeah, it's great.
they were annoying the shit out of me. Listen, be loud, do what you do, but try not to be louder than the rest of the room. I don't. This goes for the other fans too. If someone else is being loud, get loud with them. Tell them to shut the fuck up.
Dude, you saw this crowd, like only like 30% of it was into the whole thing. Like Jack Perry comes out for the main event and like 30% of the crowd's doing the thing and the rest of them all look bored.
They're like, man, we got a fucking collision after this too.
Yeah, it was not. Are they recording
I don't
Collision?
know. It was. Usually they do.
Is that a Ring of Honor show or something? No, Ring of Honor does their own tapings somewhere else now. But yeah, crowd was not very good. Um, this match was fine. Um,
Listen,
kind of went a little long.
the last time I went to an AEW event, they were still doing recordings for Rampage.
Oh wow, that was a minute ago. Yeah, they were recording. The last one we went to, they were recording an ROH after, and I looked at my wife and because I know she has to get up in the morning to work. I was like, "Do you want to stay?" She's like, "Well, what are they doing?" I was like, "It's going to be ROH." She's like, "What's the main event of that?" I was like, "It's Mercedes versus I think it was Maya World." As a matter of fact, is before she was really doing anything on the main show, and we were both like, "Nah, we'll beat the traffic."
Eh.
I think it was
um,
when Mercedes like first came back around that time. It would have been about a year ago, so maybe it was before she went away.
right, right.
Yeah, it would have been before she went away.
So this match wasn't bad. I just it ends with Jay hitting the Blade Runner out of nowhere. He gets the win. He moves on in the tournament. I don't.
Honestly, I think Finley needed the win more.
I think Finley should have. Well, no, I. It's hard because Jay
I
just
understand.
came
So
back.
look, I understand why, because Jay needed the win. He just came back, but Finley's new to your TV. You need to establish him as something. Jay, you've already had him established in the past through these very same type of tournaments. But and I also understand Jay advancing does more with storylines with Moxley and Claudio and blah 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 blah. But David Finley fucking never wins anything.
Right. Well, that's not true. They won a double chain match that don't matter. So,
Who dog?
and I
Hoo
think
hoo.
that's kind of my problem with this match as well, right? So, the double chain match as a whole just sucked. And
Yeah, it did.
it really left such a bad taste in my mouth. I was not even interested in this match. So,
Yeah.
like, I just didn't care. And half the stuff they did, I was excited because, like, Finley almost got a chance to drop Jay on his head again. But Jay got out of it. And then Jay ended up giving him the Dominator instead, which was weird because Finley's a bit bigger than Jay. Um,
Jay's really slimmed down.
But like, I don't know. I don't really have interest in either of these two in this specific tournament.
Well, they're just going to be fodder for someone else later.
Correct. Um, and unfortunately, Mox wins later on too. So like, we don't even get a guarantee of a different champion moving forward, which is all I want. I just want Mox to lose to someone. I don't care who at this point.
I don't
Like,
think he's losing, dude. I think he's winning the whole thing again.
I fucking hope not. Oh,
Who's beating him?
Claudio, I don't know.
you said it so. You sounded so disappointed.
Um. Anyways, in ring segment, Shivani brings out the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh
Um,
man, this started so rough for me, but thankfully
all 10
it
seconds
got
before
better.
somebody
It,
came out.
it, it got better as soon as a certain someone came back and came out.
Joe's like, I hated the first 45 seconds of this because I had to hear people speak Spanish.
It
And
was nothing to do with the Spanish. It was about to be the weird Virginian cowboy trying to speak Spanish,
he speaks
and
Spanish really
thankfully,
well. Thank you, sir.
it, that's fine. He can do that on his own time. Thankfully, it was interrupted by a returning Swerve.
Um, so yeah, all three guys kind of have a little bit to say as Hangman's getting ready to go into his spiel. Swerve's music hits, and I always get confused because it's not the exact same as his old music, which I'm still so accustomed to.
It's not the I Swerve when I drive.
So it always takes me a couple extra seconds to realize who it is. But then Nana shows up doing his dance, and thankfully the ramp's only like 5 feet long, so he doesn't have to do it for too long. Um, they get into the ring, and Nana kicks Shivani out for having his bad breath. And then he's like, first question of the night is whose house? Crowd yells, who's Swerve's house. One of the 5 times they actually get loud during this whole thing.
Right?
Swerve's like, look, I see 3 guys in front of me who I've had bad blood with. Y'all seem to have trauma bonded. He said, and your trios champs. He's like, what happened while I was away? He was
I
like,
don't know.
none of you have anything in common but me. He says, I beat Bandito. We tore the house down. He's like, but I beat your ass, which led to me fighting Brody. He was like, and I won that as well. And he's like, and then that brings me to you, Hangman. He's like, I can't seem to get away from you. He's like, and since I was gone, you went there, or not since I was gone. He was like, but since the last time we talked, not only have you lost the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, you lost a chance at ever getting it back. He's like, what's your legacy at this point? He's like, are you just gonna ride off into the sunset with these two? Hangman says, you know what? Unlike you, while you're gone, I have been watching you since I've been gone. He's like, he pretty much said, you haven't done shit, which is true because Swerve hasn't
It's
really been
very true.
involved in much.
Not at
Um,
all.
and at this point, the Demand and Lethal Swirl come out, and then I'm like, oh my god, shoot me.
Yeah, then unfortunately Ricochet talked and ruined the whole segment.
Uh, Ricochet comes out. He's like, look, this is a trios issue. And there's only one. Actually, his actual thing didn't bother me. I'm just tired of it being all 12 of them because there's no reason for the Lethal Swirl to be anywhere near this. But
Agreed.
Ricochet's like, in fact, Swerve, it was you that got us kind of where we're at in the first place. He brings up the toilet paper incident. When Swerve had the whole crowd toss toilet paper at him, which was fantastic. He's like, and actually, we're out here to demand a rematch for those trios titles. And Swerve smiles. He steps up to them outside on the ramp, and he just kind of puts his hands up, like, "Look, you ain't got to worry about me." And as he starts to walk to the back, he goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, Brody may do all the barking out here, but Ricochet, you're the bitch." And
Right?
at that point, Ricochet tries to dive at him, but Goa holds him back. Um, at that point, Hangman gets on the mic and says, "Hey, while we're here, if you guys want these trio titles so much, how about you bring your dumbasses to the ring and try and take them?" And then at that point, Ricochet's, "Oh, we'll do it on our time." And listen, it was fine until the end of it really rubbed me the wrong way. The whole
Yes,
like,
because they didn't build towards anything.
well,
Swerve's thing is left unresolved. Go and them, okay, they get a match. Well, everybody knew that was happening. Lethal Swerve is there just to fucking be stand-ins. They may as well be just cardboard standees.
like
I don't quite
obviously
know what he's doing yet, and it bothers me. It feels like a wasted segment.
it's, and we'll see what happens over the next couple weeks. I jokingly said I could see them sticking him with the New Day when they come in, which apparently it's pretty much been believed that they have or are about to sign very soon. So,
I mean,
um,
where else would they go?
I mean that's true. And here's the thing, and here's what I will say. If I'm being honest, if I'm thinking long term with the New Day being in, right? Say they do team up with Swerve, which again, it bothers me because then it just feels like it's like, hey, team up all the black people together. Um,
Hey, you're black and you used to be in WWE. Here's a stable. Figure out your name.
but there are some pros I see to it. First one being, if they were to go on, they can have their little feud that they can have with Brody. Well, the good, the bad, the ugly. Say that happens, they win the trios titles, right? That could be a good setup to get the New Day involved with the Elite as a whole, because I feel like that's what they really want, right? They want the New Day going up against the Bucks. They want them to have interactions with Kenny because of all the things that have happened over the last several years at like Comic Cons and things like that.
Right.
This gives them a trios situation where they can just go against the whole Elite as one united front.
Yep.
Um, so I could see it going that route. Do I personally want it to go that route? No.
No, I want Swerve to stay a single.
Um, but to be fair, between the three, I mean, the New Day are no, they're no strangers to being in trios where people still get singles opportunities, right? But then again, that was Big E, and there was a
And
fant.
Kofi won the world title while he was with him.
I'm just talking about as far as trios. It was
Yeah.
Big E, and the difference there too is they had this camaraderie that just really gelled and felt right. Where I feel like New Day being with, or whatever their names will end up being, it, it'll be Xavier and
Well, Austin Creed
or
and
Austin Creed.
whatever. I don't know what Kofi's indie name was.
Um, but that just at that point, that one actually just kind of would feel forced.
Yep.
So I don't know. Unless they want to bring him in as heels as well, because then that would be a good reason to put him up with.
Well,
Because
I think they're gonna be heels. I think they'll get a lot more mileage out of being heels.
oh man, but if they debut at
They're gonna be cheered regardless.
Wembley,
At first.
that crowd is going to be insane.
Yep.
Anyways, so this is one of those. We'll see how it goes. I hated the way it ended because I also, again, I will always hate what feels like just the every heel in the world being a chicken shit heel. Like every fucking one of them. Not one of them is just a heel and a badass, except for like Mark Davis.
Mhm.
And listen, I will never fault a man running from someone swinging a pipe. All right, that's
No, he's got a weapon.
he's swinging some iron at the old noggin. I'm good, but but like Mark Davis, Doyle, they don't back down from fights. It's why I like them as heels, and it was nice to see them out there together. By the way, I just wanted to throw that out there, and not with Brian Cage. But like the MJFs, the Ricochets, and the bad thing is like they're both also amazing wrestlers. They don't need to do the chicken shit heel thing all the time. They just don't. like we had mentioned earlier with MJF, right? Like when you see the three people that they had in that match, you expect it to just be a full on 100% damn near 5-star match, regardless if it's on TV or not. But then for whatever reason, MJF has to play the I'm not going to get involved until I absolutely feel like I can take advantage of the opportunity. He's good enough to not need shit like that as a part of
Yep.
his character.
Especially if he's boasting that he's the real world champion and everybody's afraid of him. You're the one that looks like you're afraid. You won't even get in there with two mid card wrestlers to earn your spot properly.
Right. Um and I mean that's been Ricochet's whole thing for a while, and I get it. You had Goa with you. Get in that ring and whoop their fucking asses.
Dude, you outnumbered everybody.
Yeah. Oh, there's 3 of you, but there's 9 of us. But I just keep growing their fucking team.
Yeah, I was about to say you just added another trio to their.
I called them a 12-man group earlier, so it happens.
Yeah, technically you did make them smaller then.
So yeah, I mean, there's 6. It's 6-on-3. Like I know Brody counts as like 2.5 people, and I know that the other one is a previous world champion, and then you've got Bandito, who's no slouch, but like you're
I mean,
way
he's a
outnumbering them.
world champion, so he's a world
Yeah.
champion too.
Go out there and whoop their ass. Take your titles, run off with them, and give us an interesting story out of this. Be like, yeah, we just took your championships. What the fuck you gonna do about it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Backstage earlier during an interview that was being recorded for whatever show that Renee does, Willow was talking and got jumped from behind. I actually liked this segment. Willow beat the fuck out of her.
You mean Monet beat the
Or
fuck
Monet,
out of Willow?
Monet beat the fuck out of her. Yeah, sorry, I saw the name Willow as I was talking. Monet beat the fuck out of her, and at the end of it, she's like, "Keep smiling, you dumb bitch."
Yeah. Actual progression to their feud.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I still don't care for it, but I did like the segment.
Agreed. But at least it was a quick segment. Honestly, you don't need to build this very much. They've already done this match 3 times.
This is the type of thing I would have loved to have also seen the rest of the feud pan out for Kenny and Ospreay. Like Kenny sits down for an interview, and Ospreay just comes out of nowhere with a fucking hidden blade and walks off. And then like later,
they're not going to let them get physical with each other.
Match 3. Your favorite match. This is Joe's match of the night, you guys. AEW TNT Championship match.
Not.
Kevin Knight versus Chris Jericho. Listen, I was actually fine with like the first 40% of this match. I was like, look, it's not overly terrible.
It was unapologetically fine.
I was like,
and
everything
the fucking train went off the rails. It fell off the fucking bridge. It crashed and burned in the fucking deep, deep chasm that was below. It was rough.
Yeah,
and everybody involved in this match should be ashamed of themselves. From the referee to the wrestlers to Don Callis, who was at ringside, it was a fucking shit show.
It all starts to go off the rails as soon as Jericho puts Kevin in the walls of Jericho. And
yes, because he was clearly supposed to be in a completely different spot and just literally walks towards Don Callis with a fucking screwdriver.
Hold on.
Hit in the face.
That's not even initially like so. He's got him in the walls of Jericho in the middle of the ring. Don Callis jumps up onto the apron, at which point Jericho looks up at him, and that's when he picks him up during the walls and walks over to him. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he gets there just to get hit by a screwdriver while the ref is, I don't know, jerking off in the corner somewhere.
He was just completely brain dead.
So at that point, Kevin starts to get some offense in, which was fine. Because again, I actually don't place any of the negative stuff on Kevin. I feel like a lot of this is Jericho not knowing where he's supposed to be. And then you run into a situation like Kevin goes to do a dive off the top rope shortly after this happened. Jericho goes to hit the code breaker, but completely really misses and just kind of like jumps and puts his knees up and waves his arms in the air. And I'm like, what are we doing?
And Kevin just sells it and looks ridiculous selling it. He by far is the victim of circumstances, but he by all
Well,
means still looks just as bad as the other ones.
Kevin for me looks bad in other ways, and it has nothing to do with the wrestling that was going on as a whole. I have a problem with Kevin still trying to be Wish Rock. Like, there's a part where he's doing a 10 punch in the corner on Jericho, and the crowd starts counting, and he stops, and he's like, this is my time. And I'm like, don't you sing along with the Rock Me, motherfucker. Like,
You're gonna
why?
have that though. If you grew up watching that shit, you're always gonna have people who
I feel
base
like
their
it's our
stuff off
buddy
of previous
Dustin,
people. Yeah,
who only ever imitated the Rock when we were backyard wrestling.
yeah, and he hella overdid it.
Yeah, he did. But, like, I say our buddy, we haven't talked to that dude in fucking 20 years. But, um,
It would be more than 20 years. You're thinking like
yeah,
25, brother.
yeah, 23, 24 at this point. We were 17, 18-ish.
We were younger than that.
But, but no, I just, and then of course he does the jabroni rock bottom for the win after kicking out of, or after kicking Jericho. So this was Aubrey, now that I remember,
Yeah,
because,
because Aubrey does the fake, oh, you almost bumped into me, even though they
well,
were nowhere near her.
well, no, Jericho was near, just not near enough with the elbow to justify the fucking cowarding. And this is funny because usually Aubrey is one of the better refs, so I don't know what the fuck she
Agreed.
was doing this match. But
It
like
was, we'll call it
Jericho,
the Chris Jericho effect.
yeah, Jericho goes for the Judas effect. Funny enough, and yeah, Aubrey cowers because she's like, "Oh, please don't hit me." And then like the end spot doesn't bother me because it's a heel thing, right? Kevin kicks him in the balls, hits him with his fucking finishing move, and gets the win. Fine, whatever. Even though I hate your finishing move.
It wouldn't have been nearly as poorly received if all that other shit didn't happen.
And why his rock bottom turned more into a boss man slam for this specific instance is beyond me as well. But
Yep, he did do a little turn with it.
dude, no, like the first 40%, I was like, whatever, it's a fucking Jericho TV match, and then it just went off the rails, and I was like, huh, what are we doing?
Yeah, it was rough. God, it was rough.
Um, and then things don't get much better. Backstage, Claudio's like, yeah, tournament's completely unpredictable. I don't care who I face. They're all just compete. We're all just competing against ourselves. And then Mox steps in after like grappling with Marina in the back, and he's like, "Look, my run could end tonight. Jack and I are out there to roll the dice. We're gonna see what happens." And I'm like, "Fuck you." Um, and then match 4, Chris Statlander versus Viva Van, which we were just bitching about this woman old like flopping off the fucking top rope on Collision. And they immediately bring her back for a one-on-one match, and I'm like, man, I swear to God, if they hire her,
It wasn't that bad. It was a glorified squash. Stat one
Chris,
easy with the Wednesday. With I, I'm tired of them changing the day of what her move is called based on which day she's performing because it's almost always Saturday Night Fever because she's almost always on Collision, and Excalibur called it Wednesday
well,
Night Fever tonight and fucking screwed me
no, no,
up.
I've always called it the Saturday Night Fever because of her name, and that's what they used to mention it as.
Well,
Um,
I need to start doing the same then because doing the days of the week is throwing me off.
yeah, no, I noticed he called it the Wednesday Night Fever tonight. It's the first time I'd ever heard it, at least enough to pay attention that I've heard it, and
Right.
I was like, I fucking hate it.
Stat wins with the move.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Post
The promo
match,
segment afterward is
oh,
longer than the match,
oh,
though.
Mick Foley comes out and he's like, "Look, next week we find out that it's going to be a 4-way match for the TBS title for Maya Shida and with her Maya Shida Persephone." And he gave her the mic, and then she started talking, which is one of my biggest fears when she's involved with anything.
She didn't
Because
say anything bad.
no, but she's still unconvincing and overdoes it, and I hate it. Like I cannot get behind this woman talking. Like she's fine as long as she's using 3-word sentences and only speaking 1 to 2 sentences completely. But like she goes on this tirade where she even starts screaming into the mic about like the stuff she's gonna do, and thankfully, and you will never hear this in any other situation from me, thankfully, Sheeta and Persephone come out to cut it off for their tag match. um,
Yeah, but it's Stat was acting like they were coming to do a run in, like they were going to beat her up, and then they got close to the ring, and then they were acting like they were going to, and then Thunder Rosa comes out because
yeah,
she's a part of the opposing team, and it's just like this was completely unnecessary,
all of it, all of it was unnecessary. Chris having the match with
including
Viva.
in, including the match that followed.
Um, and then we get the tag match, which is Hikaru Shida and Persephone versus Thunder Rosa and Maya World. Honestly, I used this match to focus way more on my work than
You missed zero. This match was not good.
most people use
Um,
women's matches as bathroom break matches. I use Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa matches as focus on work matches. And it's
yeah.
not because they're women. It's because I don't find them interesting.
Yeah, nobody in this match was interesting. Maya looked probably the best. That was probably by design. I still hate her finish. She wins with it. Yay.
I love her finish. I love it more if she rolls through the 3 times that she used to.
It's literally she did a fall away slam that she held on to with a bridge.
Yep, it's a
That was it.
fantastic move.
It is a move that happens.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of moves get held on for pins, though. German suplexes, they get held on for pins.
And they're impactful.
Yeah.
This is not so much.
It's about as impactful as any other wrestling move.
Not really.
Not to you. Not to you. Um,
If she did like a special pin where she could actually like hooked them up, I
well,
would probably forgive it.
she'd have
But
to let go to do that.
no, not necessarily. When she flips them over and does the bridge, she could then hook the fucking leg and her arm underneath their head while
Yeah,
she's bridging. And then it
doesn't
would
bother
be
me.
essentially just like a weird perfect plex.
Doesn't bother me. I like the move. Um, we get a backstage promo vid. Darby was apparently backstage. I just thought he was in some subway. And basically he's like, "Hey, Kevin, good job. You beat Jericho tonight." He's like, "But now you're doing what I did, and you're defending the title every week, and you're burning the candle at both ends." And he's like, "There's no amount of training that can prepare you for the kind of match you and I are gonna have." And it was mostly pointless.
So if he recognizes that he was burning it at both ends, why didn't he slow the fuck down so maybe his title reign would have been longer?
Because he's a face, and faces don't do that.
I know. It's his personality.
Um, Backstage, I actually did like this segment. Kyle's with Renee, and he's looking for someone to defend his international championship against at Wembley because he's now defended the title 3 times in 3 different countries, and he wants to make it a fourth. At which point Don's like, "So, uh, you are actually going to have a match at Wembley with somebody who is a previous champion, that never got a rematch." And Kyle's like, "Man, why are you
Not
having me
talk
wrestle
again.
against Talk again?" And he's like, "Oh, Talk is involved, but that's not even the best part." He's like, "There's a third person who also lost the title and never got a rematch." And the look on Fletcher's face is like, "You've got to be shitting me." And at that point, Okada comes in off screen, and he's like, "That's right. It's gonna be Okada, so it's gonna be a 3-way dance." He's like, "It's gonna be you. It's gonna be Talk. It's gonna be Okada." And at that point, Fletcher's like, or Don Callis is just going off. He's like, "Yeah, we've got a 66%, 66.6% chance to keep the title in the Don Callis family this way." And Kyle's like, "Screw that. What about keeping the title on me?
What about
Remember,
my reign? What about my reign?
remember what I said about the difference between stables." And because
Well, sure.
everybody in the Don Callis family is just all about themselves. And
Their thing is based off of money and stature, so of course it is.
right, and he's just like, yeah, and Don's like, and he just goes, and that's when Okada looks at him. He's like, look, we're gonna keep the title in the family. And he starts
That's the
laughing with
most
his.
important. He's like that. The most
That's
important thing is to keep
that's
the title in the family.
yeah. He does this big old goofy fucking smile and laughs, and then Fletcher storms off. He's like, "Fuck this." I enjoyed the segment.
Protokata.
It's gonna be interesting to see where it goes from here, though.
I think Kyle goes babyface.
Maybe, or maybe they finally kick Okada out.
Ooh, that would be weird.
I don't think Okada would go babyface necessarily. I mean, he
No,
could, but
babyface Okada's boring as shit. It worked in Japan because he was Japanese.
right. Match 6, Continental Cup match: John Moxley versus Jack Perry. Jack got busted open. I didn't see what move caused it. I was working and I looked over and he was just bleeding, and I was like, okay.
It was a Mox match. Somebody had to bleed.
Usually it's Mox. I'm proud of him. Um,
Yeah. What restraint he showed. No, this was all about making Jack look good and tough before Mox put him away. The
yeah.
match started out really boring, but it livened up and ended up being a pretty good match by the
Jack
end.
Jack does the Mox thing towards the end where he slaps Mox and gives him the middle finger. That's what Mox usually does before Mox loses.
Yep.
Um, and honestly, he still fought through it though. Like, he had another couple hope spots, and they made it seem like Jack had a chance. And then eventually, Mox kicks out of a pin attempt. Jack turns it into a snare trap. He's got him in the submission, which we all know Mox is kind of a pussy when it comes to being in submissions.
Yeah, he
Um,
does his whole panic thing.
at which
Just like
point
he was doing with O'Reilly when the Riley kept putting him in the ankle lock.
he eventually got through it though. He put Jack in uh,
Bulldog choke.
the bulldog choke. Jack actually fought through that and stood up.
Then
At,
he put him in a rear naked choke with
yeah,
a um
he put him in the Coquita clutch, and then
pretty much wrapped his legs around him
wraps his
and Jack passed out
yeah.
like a
Um,
good baby face.
yeah, I hate it.
Baby
Uh,
faces don't tap.
yeah, they do all the fucking time.
They should.
In fact, you tap out so that you can live to fight another day. Come on now.
Exactly.
Uh, but yeah, that's how the show ended, which kind of was a disappointment. Not so much. Listen, like, I was hoping Jack was going to win, but we all knew Mox was probably going to win. Um,
Yeah. I don't know who beats Mox now, unless
with
it's Claudio
with Jack
or
gone,
O'Reilly.
it takes away the idea of like there being a like Cinderella spot. So if I had one problem, and obviously this might change, there's only been like one match out of all of them that were initially announced that I don't know who they're going to put over, because I feel like everything else has been kind of very predictable.
Sure.
I don't know who they have win between Kyle and
Roddy.
Roddy.
Who's in between Hechicero and oh fuck, Brian Cage?
Probably Hechicero.
You think so?
I don't
Well, he
want
is
it.
CML heavyweight champion, ain't he?
Yeah. I don't want it, but they're probably going to have him go over.
Probably.
Um,
God, he's such a boring ass wrestler.
he really is. I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens all on Collision. I know we've got the other two.
We got three. We got the remaining three. So
Oh,
it's
are there
Roddy and
three left?
Kyle. It's Hechicero and Cage, and it's oh, there's one more. Who the fuck is it?
I pushed the wrong button. AEW?
Because there were 16, right? So there should have been. Maybe there is only 2 left.
Did Tony? You know who needs to be wrestling? The fucking Motor City Machine Guns.
Right? We'll probably hear from them. I hate when they put that on the like title card that I like send you sometimes. It's like we'll hear from Will Ospreay. Well, no shit. He's the top baby face. If he's not wrestling, you better fucking have him come out and do something.
Saturday's the 15th, right?
Sounds right.
Um, I believe they've already announced we're getting. It is 3 Continental Cup matches, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
I just can't think of the third one.
we're getting a trios championship match between the Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and the Lethal Twist, and then
That's predictable.
we're getting the 2 Continental Cup matches you mentioned, and then the third is Shibata and McGinnis.
Oh, that's right. I fucking forgot about Nigel. I was
Ni-
so happy that he wasn't commentating that I forgot he was wrestling.
We're going to get a singles match with Monet versus Steel, which that should actually be a pretty good match if they actually let them wrestle.
Zeta Steel.
Yeah. I like Zeta. She's actually pretty good in the ring.
Yeah, I like her. She's good.
And then Divine Dominion versus probably some random fucking nobodies.
So a 2-minute squash. And then
And
probably a segment with the birds afterward.
that's the only ones that have been announced.
He'll still add like 3 more things before Saturday, so.
Yeah. If it's not taped and they already know what they are and just won't say what they are. Because that's a thing too.
Right.
But I don't know if they're live or taped because, you know. But yeah, very weird Dynamite.
Well, we got 2 more before the big show, so they've still got quite a bit of the pay-per-view to kind of hype up here.
I just wish they used fucking. I just wish they used Collision for actual story building as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree.
Um, yeah, that's all I got. I guess per the norm, like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. Thanks for
Yeah.
hanging out with us, and we'll talk to you guys for Collision. Love ya. Deuces.
Later.